this is Dale Baker. I'm a representative from Framed! The custom framing business. We've been in business since 1955. We're known for our high quality custom framing using the latest technology and materials combined with years of experience. This gives us an advantage in creating the finest frame designs, which will offer you and your family members years of enjoyment. And I am your host today on the Tonyville podcast because of our sponsor, the company that I work for. Today we will be interviewing and talking with Nick. Nick, let's see, what is your last name, Nick?
It's Georgoudiou.
Georgoudiou.
That's
Georgoudiou. What kind of name is that?
That is Greek.
Greek.
Yeah.
Do you eat a lot of Greek food?
I try to, yeah. I used to eat more when I was younger, and I had grandmothers trying to shove it down my throat, but I still try to get to the Greek restaurants here in town.
Is there a lot of Greek restaurants in town?
There's a few. Sometimes it's really interesting when they're Greek restaurants or they're owned by Greeks, but they don't serve Greek food.
How do you know what's a real Greek dish? What is it? What is that?
It's oily and salty and bad for you.
Oily and salty and bad for you, like Lay's potato chips with the vinegar oil.
Yeah, but it would have to have feta cheese as well in order for it to be truly Greek.
So could you dip Lay's potato chips in feta cheese?
Sure.
Would that be technically a Greek dish?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it gyros or gyros?
Gyros.
Gyros?
Yep.
But it's got a G in the big. Oh.
It does, because there's no G. So it was a Y, and then there's no G in Greek. There's no B either. So if you see a B in an American word and you're trying to translate, they usually translate it to a V. So it's just get lost in translation.
So you're saying there's no G in the word Greek, but Greek starts with the letter G?
Yeah. So it's a Y sound in Greek.
So technically, if you're Greek, you don't say Greek, you say Reek?
Yes, that is also accurate for Greek people.
So what do you do for a living?
I do, for fun and for my creative outlet, I do a radio show on WPRK, and that's called To a Certain Degree, and then I turn it into a podcast afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So I really appreciate you having me on, because I'm trying to get the word out about it. It's hard to introduce new things to people. So anytime I can be interviewed by someone like you, I really jump at the chance.
Do you? We have 7 listeners, so that'll help your business.
Wonderful, yeah.
Sure.
It's 6 more than I have.
Right. So To a Certain Degree is the name of your radio show, and so what do you do on there? What do you talk about?
Usually have a guest or a couple of guests, and we play some games. There's a couple of set segments, but I'm asking them, how they do what they do, or how they got there, and what inspires them, what kind of music do they listen to, that sort of thing.
Do you have any framed pictures in your house?
I do have some framed pictures in my house.
Because I work for Framed!
Exclamation
point. I've been there for 7 years.
How do you like it? That seems like you would have a lot of fun seeing all the art.
Well, between me and you.
Okay.
Connie Mitchell owns the business.
Uh-huh.
And she and I get along okay, but her son Lance is a jerk. And he's the manager. And he's terrible.
Yeah, he doesn't
I don't think she'll listen to this. I hope she doesn't listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, she's sponsoring it, right?
Yeah, but she's
busy.
With the wine. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And I've got an art history degree, $70,000. And you know what I did this morning? I framed a poster of the Avengers.
Oh, that's cool.
No, it's
you
not.
don't like the Avengers?
No.
Then. Do you ever do the cat, like the hang in there cat?
I did that. I did yesterday. I did the painting of the dogs playing poker.
Love it.
Somebody spent $150 framing that. It's like a $5 picture.
And it's not even on velvet, I would take it.
No, it was on velvet.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it slightly better.
Anyway, so, are you hiring?
I am not right now because I
Okay.
do this for fun and I don't actually get paid to do the radio show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I need to find some sponsors like Connie. You think she would sponsor my show?
I don't know. We'll talk to her about it. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Talk to Lance.
Yeah,
He's
it
in a good
doesn't
mood.
sound like I want to.
She needs to advertise because, Michael's and Joanne's,
And they have the
they are
market.
killing
Yeah.
our business.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to your, the radio thing you're doing.
Great.
To a certain degree,
Mm-hmm.
and you're Greek
Yep,
without a G.
totally.
And so how long you been doing this radio show thing?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me how long I've been Greek.
Oh, how long have you been Greek?
44 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been doing the radio show for how long?
For 2 of those 44 years.
2 of the 44 years.
Yeah.
Which 2?
The most recent 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the most recent, you've been doing it for 2 years. And
Yeah.
when can people hear this, the radio show thing?
It's early. It's Mondays from 7 to 9 on WPRK. So they would probably be driving to work. They could hear a little bit of it. Or they could go to toacertaindegree.com. Sorry, to a website called toacertaindegree.com. It's confusing because of the 2.
So that's a lot of 2s.
Yeah, there is.
Is it the number 2?
No, it's TO.
T-O, not T-O-O.
Correct.
The second O is silent.
Yes.
So just be
As we
to
all are.
a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
So now I see from my notes you do something with 3D printing.
I do a lot of 3D printing. I joined a makerspace here in town, and I really enjoyed it. And so thought I was going to do woodworking. Thought I was going to get in touch with the
Oh,
Greek side of my family with woodworking.
uh-huh.
And I ended up liking the 3D printing more because it's faster and I can have more control over it, and slightly less dangerous.
So could you combine woodworking and 3D printing?
I think you could. I think you could make like little joints or combine it because it's a very interesting look, right? Like the organic and the inorganic together.
You could
and things like
carve 3D.
Just carve
Printing.
the plastic.
Yeah. Could you do that?
Yeah, I guess you could. I've melted the plastic down, so I guess I
Oh.
could carve it afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need a printer.
No. You just
Maybe you could print a knife. Could
You-
you print a knife?
I guess you could.
And then you could carve carve then.
Yeah, it's totally sustainable.
Yeah. Could you make picture frames out of 3D printing? Like if I wanted, let's say that hypothetically, I worked for a framing company
Yep, hypothetically.
and I thought I could do better on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to start my own business,
You want to branch out there. You
to
wanna-
branch out and,
Yeah.
compete with some of the local framing companies, quote unquote. Could I maybe have a 3D printing framing business?
I think so. I think that would be great. I think you might be able to do it for a little bit cheaper and undercut other people. What would you call it? Do you have an idea for a name?
Well, framed
Question mark?
exclamation point.
2 exclamations. I
See?
like that.
Yeah.
You know what you could do too? It's the exclamation point like upside down at the beginning,
Oh.
like the Spanish thing, and then that way I think it would show up
Spanish.
first in alphabetical listings.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, you should.
So upside down exclamation, framed exclamation
Yeah.
point. I like that. Yeah, and then I could do a 3D printing. I could make my frames with a 3D printer,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I could take over the market.
Yeah, you could also just go buy really cheap frames and then frame them and charge people $150.
That's ridiculous.
That's a good point.
So you make, what do you make with your 3D printer?
I made a couple of different things, just like little card holders and rings for your fingers, things like that. Here, I brought you one. Here, this is a ghost from Pac-Man. That you can wear.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Wear it on your fingers. Hopefully
Thank
it's big
you.
enough. Yeah. I wouldn't
Oh.
recommend punching people with that.
I'm going to leave like a ghost
Yes. Imprint on them.
Yeah.
But it's also made out of plastic, completely corn-based plastic that is biodegradable.
Could you eat it?
You cannot. I mean, you could. Sorry, you could eat it. It's probably not good for you.
Okay. Corn based though.
Yep.
Why corn?
Because we have a lot of it. There's a lot of corn in the world.
So, do you raise the corn and then you?
I do from farm to 3D printer is how I like to describe it. So I raise the corn on the land. I till the dirt, I think we call it, soil maybe. And then I plant it. It grows. I cut it down.
What do you cut it with?
3D printed knife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, completely sustainable. It's all a circle of 3D life.
Yeah, it's like a circle of life, Simba.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I put the corn into the corn processor, which is it's coal-based, so that does add a little bit of CO2 emissions and ash into the air, but other than that, completely sustainable.
Now, when you say coal-based, you're talking about that's coal.
Yeah,
like
no.
COLD or C?
No, COAL. Like I'm burning a
Oh,
lot. It burns a lot of coal.
burns a lot of coal.
Yeah. In order for every, I think it's for every one cob, which is how I measure things in cobs, obviously.
You measure things in cobs.
Yeah, like I'm always thinking about cobs. Like somebody asked me how far is it from here to there, I say, well, about 4,000 cobs. Right, so that's what I'm thinking about in terms of measuring systems. But then I take, for every cob, it's about 450 pounds of coal to convert it. So I feel like we can get that down to 400 at some point, like as the technology gets better.
Yeah.
You okay, Dale? You all right?
I'm okay. I'm
right.
okay. I'm just thinking,
Yeah. Starting to think in Cobb, right?
Thinking about Lee J. Cobb.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Sure.
I don't know what he was in, but I remember the name. It's just Lee J. Wasn't it Lee J. Cobb? Wasn't that it?
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So cobs and 3D printers. And where were you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. You don't have those in your notes? You don't have any?
Let's see. No.
I'm just curious about the research that was done because I don't want to go over anything.
Well,
that
Lance
you
was
know.
supposed to do this.
Oh, Lance.
But he.
So I'm from Canada.
Okay, Canada.
I was born there, and then we moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, when I was very young.
Well, that's similar to Canada.
It's very similar.
You know.
A lot of Canadians there.
I got the beach and the sun.
In winter.
Oh yeah. What made you move to Florida?
My parents. I was a month old, so I had no choice in the matter.
Oh, okay. So you're basically forced to move.
Yes,
to America.
was. I had no choice in the matter. I feel very much like had I been given a choice, I may have still decided on Florida, but I wasn't given the opportunity to weigh the pros and cons for each one.
Yeah. I see that. Well, do you ever go back to Canada?
I've been once about 30-something years ago.
So you go a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit.
That's good.
Yeah.
I've been to Canada. Yeah.
How was it? Like
it was good. Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Was it like a framing conference that you went up there?
We went to a framing conference in Toronto, and the conference was held in the CN Tower.
Oh, okay.
So it was a small conference.
Yeah.
But, and it was a high. It's real high up there.
So it was skinny but tall.
It was a tall, thin conference.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember it because I stayed out late at night.
Great.
So I didn't.
Good nightlife in Toronto.
Yeah, I didn't really make many of the meetings. I just, in the afternoons I would show up when they had snacks.
Let's go back to your new framing business. So how many cobs would you say you would need for each frame? So I can get a sense of how many cobs I should be growing for you.
Well, a typical frame.
Because I would like to be, I don't know if I made this clear, Dale, but I would like to be your source.
Oh, okay.
For corn and all your cob-related needs.
Well, you think about it. Let's just say you got a picture and it's like 11 by 17.
Right. There's a lot
so
of pictures.
So you got your four sides? Four sides. Yeah,
most of the time.
Four sides. And then, the two sides are longer than the bottom and the top.
Got it.
So maybe two cobs for the sides and then the cob at the top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cobs.
Okay.
6 or 7 something
I'm
like
just
that.
gonna put you down for about 7 cobs per frame.
7 cobs.
Just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, 7 cobs per frame to start with, because they're going to start small.
Yep.
But we're thinking big. But you know, sometimes people bring in these odd sized, you know, pictures that they want framed.
Right.
And you know, I think we should just stick with one size.
I like that because it simplifies things.
Yeah,
So,
you know.
And if they bring in a bigger picture, can we just cut it down
Why not?
into either smaller pictures or just a one picture that's smaller?
If you cut it, if you took one picture and you cut it down, and you put it in one picture in 3 or 4 frames,
Yeah.
they're getting more for their money.
They're getting a lot more.
So,
And it's 28 cobs. So that's
28.
fantastic.
yeah, I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You know, I think. And then if you with the leftover corn, you could make like a stew or something.
Yeah.
Whatever
Some
you put
sort of
corn.
or maybe some roasted corn salsa or
Corn salsa, or maybe some kind of. Does the Greeks use corn?
not often, no. I wasn't native to it was pretty much just lamb, feta, oregano.
Do lambs eat corn?
They could. Corn-fed lamb,
Corn-fed lamb.
CFL.
Do they have a lot of Greek people in Canada?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if do they have lambs in Canada?
They have a few. It's hard to raise the lambs in Canada because of the polar bears.
Oh, that makes sense.
A lot of polar bears.
Yeah.
And the Greeks are still outnumbered by the polar bears, obviously.
Well, you know, that's why the Greek population hasn't
Hasn't really taken off. Yeah.
because you know
So
I mean,
attractive to the polar bears.
yeah, and it's hard living in Canada.
Yeah.
Because that's all on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you have this radio show called To a Certain Degree, and it's T-O, not T-W-O or T-O-O.
Correct. Or the number 2.
And it's on, and you got a website, toacertaindegree.com.
That's correct.
And you got this, you raised corn.
Raise corn. If anybody wants to contact me about their corn needs.
And you have a 3D printing business, and you gave me this awesome ring here. Mm-hmm. And so we'll put a picture of that ring up later.
Great.
And do you sell these 3D printing things you make?
I do. I try to do some markets around town, and I'm not really sure about doing it online, so I like to talk to people and interact with them and really look them in the eye, because these go on your hands and they're kind of sizable, and really make sure they're not going to hit anybody with them.
Oh,
so I feel
okay.
like I can look somebody in the eye and say, you're going to hit somebody, or alternately, you're not going to hit somebody. Dale, you're a not going to hit somebody kind of guy.
No, not most people I wouldn't hit, but now Lance, I would hit Lance.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Theoretically,
yeah.
Could you punch a polar bear with this?
No, this is not polar bear rated.
Okay.
At all. I would have to.
Or a lamb?
It is lamb rated. I would say this goes up to, I don't know, maybe alpaca.
Oh, alpacas.
Yeah.
They're cute.
Yeah. So it goes lamb, alpaca, polar bear. And then there's a number of differentiations within that, obviously.
Yeah. I wonder if alpacas eat corn. They look like they would eat corn.
They would totally eat some corn.
Yeah. So anyway, people can visit you online.
Sure.
They can find you on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And the show airs what time again?
7 to 9 on Mondays on WPRK.
7 to 9 on Mondays on WPRK. And I guess that's about all we have time for. This is Dale Baker. I'm a representative from Framed! ! We've been in business since 1955. We're known for high quality custom framing using the latest technology and materials, blah, blah, blah. Combined with years of experience, I have a $70,000 art history degree. And Lance is a jerk, and I don't even care if he hears this or if his mom, Connie Mitchell, hears this. We also sell fine art, and we restore art that has been damaged from fire, smoke, water, and alpacas.
And polar bears.
And polar bears.
Good.
Anyway, we appreciate you listening, and you have a good day. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Dale. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you around.
Yeah.